The number of Minnesota children suspected of being abused has risen dramatically over the past few years. Experts say these cases can occur in all types of families.
And tonight, Fox 9 investigator Jeff Ballion takes us inside one recent case. It involves a former elected official charged with causing great bodily harm to a young boy.
Hold on, Max, we're almost done.
Holding on is all this kid knows.
Bring your foot all the way down. There you go.
A year ago, it looked like Max wouldn't live to see his 5th birthday. He was lying in an intensive care unit with a massive brain injury. For weeks, he didn't move or speak.
Can you wave bye-bye with your fingers? Can you wiggle your fingers?
Show me what you can do now. Can you move the fingers?
No.
No?
I can do my pinky.
He may never regain full use of his right hand.
Do you want to go ride your bike?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. This is how we do it.
But given Max's resilience so far, you can never say never.
5, 6, 7.
The motor planning that it takes and getting both his left hand and his right hand involved at the same time is really great for brain work.
There is no end in sight to the therapy sessions and medical appointments.
Hi.
The expense of it all,
Good job.
$1.5 million and counting.
I think that's kind of the importance of sharing the story is you never know.
How did Max come to suffer such a devastating injury? Few facts of the case have been made public before, but the Fox 9 investigators obtained a copy of the now closed police file, including audio and video recordings.
Yeah. What's the address? I have a 4-year-old. I need any evidence right away.
Kathy Pia had returned to her then boyfriend's home after running a brief errand. She found Max inside having a seizure. Even though she's a registered nurse, Pia was stunned to see her little boy in such distress.
Okay, what's going on? Give me the address. I'm going to freak out.
The boyfriend, Brian Bessler, took over the call. At the time, he was the village president of Dresser, Wisconsin, and a former member of the Polk County Board of Supervisors.
Is he awake?
His eyes are open, but he's unresponsive.
Okay, is he breathing?
He is breathing.
Max was rushed by ambulance to this hospital in nearby St. Croix Falls. His body was making abnormal movements, and his left eye was dilated, indicating his condition was very serious.
Quickly, it became apparent that he likely had a severe head injury.
In this interview with investigators, the emergency room doctor says he was told Max got hurt by running into a door frame. But given the severity of Max's injury, the doctor and the nurses were skeptical.
We were concerned that maybe that didn't all add up.
Sure.
That's why we did contact Child Protective Services.
Max was airlifted to Regions Hospital in St. Paul, where a neurosurgeon removed part of his skull to relieve swelling. After 19 agonizing days, the family got its first hopeful sign that his brain was beginning to heal.
Ready? Let's count. Ready? 1. Let me see 1. 2.
I think we all want to know just more than anything, like what really happened that day.
So that's the one he had, this is the one I had.
This video shows Brian Bessler explaining to detectives his version of how Max got hurt. He claims they were chasing each other around shooting Nerf guns.
He said after maybe 5 or 10 times he went running down the hallway and looked back at me. So he's kind of in a full sprint and looked back at me and just went right into the door jamb.
But investigators found no sign of Max's DNA on that door jamb. And a doctor who's an expert on child abuse injuries told them a young boy hitting his head against a door frame during routine play would not be expected to cause such a severe injury.
He did cry, comforted him, said he was hot and kind of tired. So offered him a drink of water, so he came into the kitchen here.
Detectives also interviewed Max's 8-year-old sister. She wasn't there when he suffered the head injury, but she told them she knew this day would come because Max was getting hurt all of the time, and Bessler was to blame.
He did vomit in the toilet. Kind of, rinsed his face off a little bit, helped him out. He said he was still hot and didn't feel well.
A few weeks after the incident, Bessler was charged with 2 counts of physical abuse of a child. He initially pled not guilty, but recently entered a plea of no contest to a lesser felony of recklessly causing bodily harm. He declined our request for an interview.
He just refuses to say anything else about it.
Pia had dated Bessler for only a few months before the incident. She says she was unaware of any physical abuse going on.
I got 1, 2, 3.
Max has made great strides in the years since his horrific injury.
What are some of your favorite things?
I like going to church and gym.
His speech, memory, and communication skills are improving.
What color is this?
Blue.
What color is that?
White, blue.
Up until a couple of months ago, his brain couldn't differentiate colors.
What's my doctor for me?
I do.
But there still are many challenges.
Another red one. Okay, let's find
This is an exercise to help him improve his strength and balance so he can overcome a fear of using the toilet. And without periodic Botox injections, the muscles in his right arm and leg freeze up.
The gastric muscle gets tight and contracts, and so they end up walking like this on their toes.
He wears a cast to keep his right foot in line to help him walk.
I kind of treat him like he's doesn't have any disabilities, and trying to make him be very independent and do everything he can on his own, as much as he can on his own.
A year ago, Kathy Pia was in a hospital room wondering if her son would ever move again. She couldn't forget what he said moments before she left him in the care of Brian Bessler the day he was injured. He wanted to take his first plane ride, go to Disney World, and splash in the ocean. 11 months later, against all odds,
It was a healing thing.
Max was able to do just that.
I try not to let the past weigh us down as a family, and just knowing keeping Max going forward is the best thing we can do for him.
I'm Fox 9 investigator Jeff Ballion.
Now, Brian Bessler, who pleaded no contest to recklessly causing bodily harm, will be sentenced in July. He could face up to 3.5 years in prison and or possible $10,000 fine. It is great to see Max making such great strides.
Max, I hope you stayed up. You're a tough little guy and we love you.
Yeah.